Okay, well, welcome to the Soma Cube Puzzle. And today we are making this cube. It's made up of 7 pieces, and they're all 3-dimensional geometric pieces. They will fit together. There are over 200 different solutions to this puzzle. So it is both a craft and there's math involved, and also it's a puzzle that just keeps going. So this is what we'll be making today. Your kit includes 7 colorful handouts, and each of them is labeled based on a particular title. Like piece A, you'll see will vaguely look like the letter A. And so you can kind of get a sense of what it might look like. So we're going to start with piece B, and we're cutting it out. So you can use scissors. If you have an X-Acto knife, you can use your X-Acto knife and a cutting mat to protect your table. And I'm going to start with scissors, but I might want to use my X-Acto knife once I get into the little corners.
Are these patterns available online, Anna? Are they? Did you find them online, or did you?
I found them online. I think that's from that template maker website. But these are also. So you could find these online. We have a small quantity of kits available at the library that are available for free. Once you have printed out the templates or gotten the templates from us, all you need are a pair of scissors and some glue. It could be a glue stick. I'm just going to use basic white Elmer's glue. You just have to be very dainty with it. You don't want to make your you don't want to weigh down your piece with too much glue. And then we're going to, once we're cutting out the template along the thick black lines and leaving the thin lines, that's what we're going to fold. In this case, you can see in this corner, you can see there's some thin lines, and then there's also one thick line. I'm going to cut just along that little thick line right there. It's going to make sure my tabs are separate. And then here. So some of them take longer to cut out than others, depending on how elaborate the piece is. But just know you can take your time. This is a nice at your own pace project, so you can pause if your hand gets too sore from cutting out all the pieces. Okay, so this is our first piece. And this is piece B, B as in boy. So there is a special tool that everyone should have, and it will be essential to folding and making your nice creases on your template. Roland, do you know what that is?
I think I have it. It's our library card.
A library card, that's
Yay.
right. So here's what I recommend. First, so what you can do is you can take your library card. It could be the full card, or it could be the little keychain tag. I'm just using the tag today, and you'll line it up right along one of those lines that you want to fold. Hold it down really firmly, and then fold the paper over it. And then you get a nice fold that's going to be straight along that line. So you're going to do this for each of them.
the little tabs are hard to do. Those
The
are,
little tabs are really hard. If it is easier, you can fold all the big lines first and then come back
do the
to the
little
little
tabs.
tabs. It's up to you. And maybe as you do more of these, you can decide what you like best, what works best for you.
Yeah, the library card works very well.
Yeah, who knew? I mean, it's useful in all things, but especially who knew it would be so helpful for crafts?
So we're actually folding everything the same way. We're not folding it opposite way. Everything
Correct.
comes together in,
There may be, as we go along, some shapes will end up folding in different ways.
oh, okay.
But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay.
Because at this point, we can't really tell when
Uh-huh.
it's like this, what those shapes will be. So I have my examples here that we'll use to help us when we get to that point. But that's a really good question. And it will get a little trickier. Okay, I think I did all the big ones, and now I'm gonna fold my little tabs. A little tricky.
Yeah, that is neat. Wow. I think it works better when you have, when you're doing the big lines first, because then the little tabs don't get in the way of folding those big lines.
I think so too. And the other thing I'd like to note is that as you're folding your tabs, you do want that nice fold, but you want them to then pop out a little bit. If they're so folded that they are flat against the paper, when it's time to glue, it's gonna make it hard to adhere these to the side. So you want a nice crisp fold, but not so tight that it's gonna close in on itself. So just something to think about. I'm trying to remind myself what piece B actually is supposed to look like.
Yes, it's very clever, but I don't know how it's supposed to go. So
It's not
anxious.
totally intuitive. No.
Because you know what stymies me about this shape is that there's this L that doesn't have a fold, right? It's a solid. That's the
Mhm.
solid part, is that L.
Yeah. I'm
And
kind of just gently constructing it over here to remind myself.
I
Okay, so
see.
think
Oh
it's gonna
my
look something
goodness.
like this. So I think that's this. So
Yep.
this is what it's going to look like. It's a little bit tricky. So here's how I would recommend going about this to start. First, we're gonna fold these. So we've got these two L's on the side, and we're gonna fold them up into this pot of Elmer's glue. And I'm using a Q-tip because I find that you can't get too much glue on there. It's just the right amount. So if your shape is like this, we're gonna fold up the two sides here. Yes. And put glue along these edges, just a little bit.
Oh. I see a corner where I didn't cut, so I have to cut it. I didn't cut the corner correctly.
And then I'll fold up one side, and that's where I'm gonna, you can see, if you look inside there, you can see where the tabs have adhered.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready to move on.
I'm watching you still, and I'm kind of behind, I think.
That's okay. You're not behind. You're the only person. You're right on schedule.
I see where the tabs connect. Okay, yeah. I'm seeing where the tabs, that first little square that folds over is, that's what I'm doing, the first thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but, and that's kind of tricky. Oh, it's tricky.
Yeah, it helps.
Because you gotta put the, I'm using the scissors to press the tabs into that back.
Good idea. If you have like a clean, like a pencil eraser, or I have a clean Q-tip here that I can use to press in there. Also, my hands are pretty small, so I can just stick my hand in there. But yeah. So there we go.
Boy, this is tough. This is a little, you know,
Yeah,
fine,
just dive right in.
fine
So-
motor skills. This is fine
Yes.
motor skills. Yeah.
So for our next part, we're gonna put glue on these 4 tabs. So these 4 over here.
Okay.
So
Glue on all those tabs.
not too much glue, just like a nice coating. The more glue you have, the longer it will take to dry.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then, so Rolanda, earlier you'd asked about if the folds would all go the same way. And this is an example where they're not. So I'm gonna fold this here onto those tabs, and then
the other one goes
other
the
side.
opposite way. I see.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
this is
tricky.
a tricky one.
And it's also tricky to get those corners together. And when my
Yes.
glue stick is working pretty well, but it's also slippy. So some of the glue doesn't stay right away.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of gently hold it with my hand. You can see my fingers over here, and then I'm trying to hold both of those sides in place so they can dry.
I see that. That's what, yeah, you hold it so until it's dry.
Yep.
That takes time. And that first fold, that first sort of box, it's the like thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah.
And
tricky.
this is an example where the fold is going to go back. So we have to make sure that this doesn't get into the fray. So if you, I'm holding what the next one, I want to glue this piece onto this. So there's a little tab here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put some glue on, and I'm going to glue it in here.
This is really a challenge in terms of the the fine motor skills involved. This is really.
Yeah, and it is not intuitive the way that some
No.
fit together. So
Right, you sort of
it
have
really
to.
is about playing around a little bit. And it's good problem solving too.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely great problem
And
solving.
the next part I'm gonna glue is this little tab, this little top that's sticking out. I'm just gonna put a bit of glue on this tab. And fold down this. I'm gonna hold it in place while it dries. I've got a little bit of glue.
Oh, wow,
here.
this is really cool. It's coming together, even though I mean, I see how it comes together.
But you feel like it won't come together.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's very like I'm holding the pieces together more and more because the glue stick just doesn't work really well. You need, I think you need glue that will dry faster in some ways.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I like using the Elmer's glue, but my trick is to use Q-tips to dab it on so that I'm not trying to get the bottle in here.
Right. I think the glue stick is less messy than the liquid glue, but I think you're probably doing better with the liquid glue than I am with the glue stick, because the glue stick doesn't dry that fast, even though it seems like it should,
And it's a little tricky to get into these smaller spaces.
Oh yeah.
Because what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put glue on these 2 tabs. So then it's gonna come up like this.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put glue on all of these edges to complete our shape.
So all I see.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put glue on all of the remaining tabs. It just kind of comes together fast and furious here at the end.
I'm just showing mine there in the camera too. So that's where I'm sort of at the same level you are, more or less.
Great.
So it's still not sticking. So come on, stick, come on, glue. Well, this is interesting that we've got two kinds of glue and two different experiences here too.
Yeah, and so I've added on the top or the
Uh-huh.
bottom, and actually I'm gonna flip it over and apply pressure from the bottom, just some very gentle pressure.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll have a chance to press together that whole bottom half. So
And
the
so it
part that I just
dries too.
glued is down here.
Yeah, I've done the same thing. I'm kind of pressuring those to stay in the same way.
Just very light pressure.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll dry.
Yeah. So this is what piece B looks like.
There you are.
Yeah.
And this is, we can go on and do others, but I think this is plenty in terms of understanding how they are put together and work. I mean,
Yes.
these are all
Each
really
piece will look a little bit different, and but the same basic premise applies, that you're going to cut out along the bold lines and then fold along the thinner lines. And I recommend using your library card to get a nice clean fold. And then take your time to kind of put the pieces together and figure out how they all fit together. It might not be intuitive, but it's part of the puzzle too. And once you have assembled all of your pieces, you can play around with getting them all to fit together into a perfect cube. They will all eventually fit together in a perfect cube.
now.
And
I think there's like 200 solutions for this, isn't it?
yes, there are over 200 solutions. This puzzle was invented by a Dutch polymath whose name is escaping me at the moment, but he invented this. And you can get these in, wood or foam. This is a homemade version.
Oh, they're very expensive at the stores. I've seen them. They're like $20.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is the homemade version, and I like that it's so colorful, and you are taking something that was flat and turning it into something three-dimensional. And it's colorful and fun. So I hope you will have fun assembling it, and then playing around with the different solutions to see what you can do.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Roland.
See ya.
Bye.